In-depth, investigative. This is KXAN News Today.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to KXAN News Today. Thank you so much for watching us. This is a great look at the roads out there this morning, the winter storm that is hitting us here in Central Texas. Thank you for all of you who have sent out some videos and photos to us. Right here, you can always send it to us at reportit@kxan.com. All right, let's come back here live in the KXAN studio. We have different photographers and reporters who are out there live for you this morning. And of course, we have Erica watching the roads, snowy out there, and Kristen here with the latest on the snow that just keeps on falling.
Yes, still out there across a good chunk of Central Texas too. So let's begin with what conditions look like this morning. Winter radar showing a little bit of that snow in our eastern hill country, but also some more in the Austin metro and our eastern counties. So the further west you go, not as much, but we already have quite a bit on the roadways, and unfortunately more still falling. So we gave you the warning for the last couple of days, and definitely yesterday. Today is not a morning we want you out on the road. Snow still falling out in Leander, Liberty Hill, Georgetown, Northwest Travis County, even into portions of downtown. We've got some flurries into our eastern counties. Bastrop getting in some light to even moderate snow at times, but accumulation still expected to generally be less than an inch for most of us. It's out east where we could see a little bit more. Let me take you to Bastrop. This is our Ally Medical Emergency Room camera looking at 71, and you can obviously see we've got some snow falling right underneath that light, but we also have the snow sticking to the local highways, the local roads, especially those that haven't been treated. So in and around your neighborhood is likely going to be snow-packed at times. Again, it's not a lot of snow, but even a little bit is going to instantly freeze with temperatures this cold. Not only are we talking widespread 20s and 30s, but look at the wind chills this morning. Gusty winds in combination with those 20s and 30s, bringing our feels like temperature down to 17 in Austin. 15 in Fredericksburg, teens out in Caldwell County, in Fayette County. I'm interested to see how much snow and or sleet you have on the ground, because you actually got a head start. You had some of that falling as early as 8 p.m. yesterday. Let me know if you can safely take a picture of what is falling or what already has fallen in your backyard. We would love to see those. That's going to help me get a better idea of what's actually falling out of those low clouds. Temperatures in the upper 30s down to the upper 20s tonight. So keep that in mind. Everything that falls over the next few hours and everything that has fallen, even if it melts this afternoon with those temperatures in the mid to upper 30s, will refreeze tonight. So tomorrow morning's commute is also going to be one to watch. We've got a lot to discuss. I've got details for you coming up here shortly. In the meantime, all eyes will be on those road conditions. So let's get you back over to Erica.
Thank you so much, Kristen. I know I want to start here so that you can see me, but then I'm going to step off and kind of give you a tour from our tech stock cameras, because it is so helpful that we have those this morning. Starting here in far north Austin, this is a live look at SH 45 Northwest and La Frontera Boulevard. So I'm glad that we're seeing that right now. So you can see that it is open to traffic, but you can also see it is blanketed there in snow. So I don't always trust these elevated surfaces and those flyovers and that sort of thing. I myself saw the sort of wetness of the snow on my journey into the station this morning. And at one point I did actually kind of slip on some ice that was up on sort of a softer surface, not down on the ground. So just be careful out there as you do step out. Be really careful with your steps, kind of feel it before you just fly right out of your house this morning. As far as serious incidents right now, there was an earlier crash on northbound 35 at 1431, but that's clear. You're going to see that the drive times are technically in the yellow, but that is because traffic is moving slowly, which is exactly what we want them to do. You can see here right now coming in from the south, east, west, it is slow, and coming in from the north as well. So hopefully people are able to just stay home and use extreme caution if you do have to get out there. But just as a reminder, we want to talk about what this cold weather can do, not just bringing obvious dangers to the roadways like icy roadways or power outages. There's also sort of just these invisible dangers. We're talking hypothermia and frostbite. An early warning sign of that condition is uncontrollable shivering as the body tries to warm itself. So if you notice that, pay close attention to yourself or your loved ones. More serious symptoms like slurred speech and confusion. You can even mimic a stroke. And if the victim falls asleep, that's when that condition can turn deadly if it's not addressed. Bundling up can help save and stave off the cold, but wearing too many layers can also pose problems.
When you generate sweat, that moisture mixed with the cold temperatures will actually decrease your core temperature faster.
Hypothermia can set in quickly, so if you begin to shiver and you see blue tint to your hands or other exposed skin, it is time to get inside and warm up. And then let's also talk about black ice. If you have to drive today, watch out for that potential threat there with those icy roads and that black ice. So if it develops, it can do that at night and in the early hours of the morning when the temperatures are typically at their lowest. If most of the road ahead of you is dull black and there's some shiny spots, it could potentially be black ice. If for whatever reason you hit black ice, here's what you should do. Stay calm. Take your foot off the gas and let that car pass over the patch of ice. If you veer off the road, try to land on empty land or fluffy snow and turn your emergency lights on. If you are a Cap Metro user, just a heads up, the transit agency is planning to resume limited operations later this morning. The first customer trips are expected to be around 11 a.m. for bus, pickup, and access services. Cap Metro Rail will not operate. The agency says services will run through 9 o'clock tonight.
Erica, thank you. Let's talk about Meals on Wheels, Central Texas. It is closed today because of the winter weather that we're seeing out there. On the organization's website, Meals on Wheels says the interruption is going to impact home delivered meals and some of its other services. So if you know someone who lives nearby and depends on this organization, maybe you just can go check up on your neighbors. That is what the group is asking you to do this morning. And they say clients should use one of the shelf-stable meal kits that were provided at the very start of the winter season. You know, with the snowy conditions and icy roads out there, you are encouraged to stay home if you can. TxDOT web cameras along I-10 between Flatonia and Weimar showing sleet and ice. Look at that, covering the main lanes there. You should avoid driving through at least sunrise, but if you have to, please use extreme caution. Be very careful out there. Erica's here. She's going to guide you if you do need to get out there on the roads and what you need to avoid. Hey, parents, there is a good chance your child does not have school today. So you are looking at a map that we have right now on KXAN.com. It's really cool. All the school closures and delays that you get to see right there in the middle of your screen. Red, that huge chunk, that means those school districts are closed, with Llano Harper ISD having 2-hour delays. Meanwhile, districts on the outskirts of Central Texas, San Saba ISD, Lampasas, Lomita, Richland, Mason, and Dawes CCSD remain open as per usual. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to KXAN News Today. I know it's not a lot that you can see from this camera, but it is coming down, the snow, thanks to our weather camera over at Ally Medical in Bastrop. Kristen has the latest on just how much has accumulated, and Erica checking out the roads for you. If you're driving like those drivers are later on today, be careful. And let's check out how ERCOT is doing. That is top of mind for a lot of people. A live look at the supply and demand for ERCOT is what you're seeing on the screen there. The purple line shows the supply and how it's expected to look. The blue line is our demand right now. So far, there's expected to be plenty of power out there to stay warm. Taking a look at this snow off of Lakewood Drive in Northwest Austin. Thank you to one of our viewers for sending that in to us. You can see the snow flurries coming down outside. And then our chief meteorologist, Nick Bannon, of course, up in Pflugerville, got video for us there. Look at the flurries. Those seem to be really coming down when he was able to shoot that video for us as the snow falls overnight. Good morning, everyone. Look at this, another live look that we have for you of our many cameras all over Central Texas. Ally Medical in Dripping Springs this time. We were in Bastrop with that live video, and now you can see the snow right under the lights right there, still falling to the ground. Look at how much snow is on the ground over there. Love to see it, Dripping Springs. Hey, send us your video if you can safely. We got lots of video last night coming in. This one from Craig's Wood Circle. So you can see the sleet kind of looking like Tic Tacs. Maybe hear it. It sounds like a two. All right, this is a video from Michelle Colley out of Flatonia. Thanks, Michelle. You can see the snow falling pretty heavily over in her area as well, Erica.
Very pretty. But be careful out there. So if you do need to go anywhere today, it's really going to be best to check if they are opening late or maybe even closed completely. A lot of notifications that have been coming through about closures, right? Cedar Park, Round Rock, Williamson County, all closed city and county offices. And so just a heads up that if I had a doctor's appointment later today, it got canceled. Yeah. So there you go. HEB also adjusting its store hours due to the extreme cold. Austin area stores and Central Market stores, they will be opening at 10 o'clock today. And just be careful if you get out there on the roadways. Because of this wintry weather, we're tracking and being prepared, obviously extremely important. Our Will Dupree spoke with Doug Shoup from AAA Texas about how you can stay safe on the roads.
We talk about getting ready to hit the roads if you need to, but what should people keep in mind if they do have to get out and about and drive around?
When we have these rare winter storms here in Central Texas, typically we hear a lot about jackknifed 18-wheelers, commercial vehicles, large trucks. Remember that those larger commercial vehicles cannot stop as quickly and as easily as smaller vehicles. So give them plenty of room. Never cut off one of these large trucks or other vehicles as well. Always maintain a very safe distance between your vehicle and other vehicles out there on the roadway. The other thing that you want to do is continue to monitor what the weather conditions are, not only where you're heading, but all along the route so that you're aware of what kind of conditions you could experience when you're out there on the roadways. We also encourage everybody to have an emergency roadside kit in their vehicle. You want to have some things like jumper cables, some gloves, some basic tools, a warning triangle so that should you encounter a breakdown on the roadway, you can place that outside of your vehicle to alert other drivers that your vehicle is disabled on the side of the road. And then also make sure that you have winter clothing, extra jackets, gloves, hats, so that in case you do break down and you're waiting for help, you'll stay warm in the vehicle. And then also, of course, have bottled water in the vehicle with you as well. And don't forget about your smartphone charger so that should you need to call AAA Texas for help or someone else for help, you're going to have a charged phone and be able to do that.
Yeah, that is super important. No kidding. Allergies, if it's not the winter weather, it's the allergies.
And we're all joking. We have none of those things to keep ourselves ready in case of emergency. But
even last night, walking out of the weather center, Chief Meteorologist Nick Bannon was like, "Do you have a snow brush?" I'm like, "No."
What?
I live in Texas. No, like a snow brush, but you might need it if you have it.
My windshield is covered in snow right now.
Let me show you what radar looks like right now, because y'all, it's still snowing. The forecast verified nicely with the fact that we got a little bit of accumulation. Now, obviously, if you've got to drive through it, it's not a good thing. But for many of us, this is going to be a morning where we could just sit inside and watch. And at this point, it is verified to be quite the snow day for us here in Central Texas. Accumulation still coming, but if I kind of switch you from just our own individual radar and turn on all the radars in the region, you can see that this is impacting a good chunk of Texas. Central Texas, East Texas, Coastal Texas, Houston Metro, all of us getting some light to moderate snow. So the snow is going to continue for the next few hours. Really, the biggest thing right now is just making sure everybody stays off the roads. You can see on our Dripping Springs Allied Medical Emergency Room camera there that we've got some of those snowflakes still falling. And then look at what 290 looks like here. So even though it's not a lot of snow, it is still going to impact us in a very big way with potential travel over the next few hours. Temperatures down to the 20s, 28 degrees. It's going to take a while for these roads to thaw. We eventually get back into the upper 30s this afternoon, but look at the winds coming out of the northeast at 15 miles per hour. That wind chill is 17 degrees in Austin. It is just brutal with that cold. Temperatures in those 20s area wide. When you factor in the wind, we've got pretty much everybody looking at teens this morning. As mentioned, we do find 30s this afternoon, upper 30s at that. So we do anticipate some melting as we get into the later part of today. The problem is we do anticipate temperatures to drop very quickly after sunset. So briefly seeing some melting, and then everything is going to refreeze overnight. You look at the wind chills expected this afternoon. It's not going to be pleasant to be outside. Now, I'm not going to tell you, especially the kids, to not go outside and play in the snow, right? This is so rare for us. I encourage you to build that little mini snowman. Just make sure you are bundled up because this kind of wind chill can really bite, and we don't want to run into any risk of frostbite or worse. We gave you those symptoms earlier. The wind chill as we get into tomorrow morning in those teens, and it is going to be very, very cold, even just by the actual air temperatures. So what comes next? Well, some lingering snow showers expected through about 6-7 a.m. and then we're done. The snow moves out. It won't come back today. We've got mainly cloudy skies expected through lunchtime, and then here comes our sun anticipated for the late afternoon, early evening. Once sun sets, we see those clear skies. Unfortunately, the clear skies will aid to those temperatures plummeting overnight. But the winter weather alerts continue until 6 p.m. It wouldn't surprise me if these get canceled early just because we anticipate the snow to get wrapped up here by mid to late morning. But again, those road conditions are what I'm most concerned about because it'll be icy this morning and it'll start to get icy tonight into tomorrow morning. You'll notice tomorrow morning's lows are well below freezing. So any leftover water that sits at the bottom of your driveway, out on the highways, that is going to freeze. There's no doubt about it. Wednesday afternoon, we start to see temperatures in the 40s with more sunshine, and that will certainly help. Just also wanted to put this on your radar heading into the weekend. I've now jumped you to Saturday. We've got some potential rain. Temperatures will keep this warm enough to be liquid, but Saturday into Sunday, we've got the potential for some showers. So if you've got weekend plans, make sure you're staying up to date with us. Once we get over the hump of today, we'll start to narrow in on the details there, but still going with the 20 to 30% chance of those lingering snow showers this morning. Dry this afternoon, highs in the upper 30s, hard freeze tonight in the teens and 20s. So we still want to make sure that you guys are dripping your faucets. Sunshine takes us all the way through the start of the weekend. High temperatures in the 60s. That's going to feel glorious after the cold weather we've been enduring over the last couple of days. And then some rain chances here Sunday into Monday. That's the Elixir forecast. Let's get you back over to Erica. She's got her eyes on the roads.
All right, thank you so much, Kristen. Okay, if you want to take a tour with me with our TxDOT cameras, let's go. This is SH 130 at Pierce Lane. You can see the snow there on the main lanes of 130. Let me go to North Austin, Highway 183 at the intersection of Metric Boulevard, a big one, and an elevated portion of 183. But you can see, look, we got a car entering on the ramp. We've got 3 cars on the main lanes of 183, and they're all taking it slow. We know that people do still have to get out there. We just want you to be very careful, be a little suspicious of those elevated roadways and those flyovers. Okay, now let me go to Southwest Austin. This is Highway 290 at Old Fredericksburg Road, right by that YMCA in Oak Hill. Do you see that the street light right there? If you can look closely, it is still actively snowing and falling there on 290 at Old Fredericksburg Road. So that's what we're watching. Very snowy. We just, we're not watching any major crashes right now, which is a good thing because so much is canceled business-wise. And then, of course, school. Things are quiet out there, and that is what we want to see.
Erica, thank you so much for that as we take some looks around Central Texas for you this morning. But let's get you updated on some other news that we are following for you since we are KXAN News Today. Let's talk about President Donald Trump's return to the Oval Office yesterday, signing several executive orders, including an order declaring a national emergency at the southern border and a separate order declaring drug cartels as terrorist organizations. He also signed an order putting an end to birthright citizenship. Trump also issuing pardons to 1,500 defendants of the deadly January 6th riot at the Capitol 4 years ago.
We hope they come out tonight, frankly. These are the hostages, approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
And when it comes to some of the other things that the president did, he also told reporters in the Oval Office that he intends to issue his threat of 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexican imports on February 1st.
This is KXAN Sports, brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
All right. Did you see it? Ohio State winning the college football national championship. The Ohio State Buckeyes taking down Notre Dame 34-23 to win the college football playoff national championship game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. This is over in Atlanta, of course. Ohio State has now won 9 college football titles, tying them with USC for 4th most ever among NCAA's officially recognized championships. This is also the team's first national title in a decade. Now, back on the 10th, Ohio beat the Texas Longhorns, sorry to remind you, 28-14. It's in the script. I had to read it. When the 2025 football season starts back up, Texas will face off with Ohio State once again, August 31st. Coming up, our live coverage of the winter storm here in Central Texas with preparations going on right now to the east as well. And if you're listening on the KXAN Today podcast, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time. You could always watch us on KXAN.com or on air. Everything you need to know when it comes to your weather, traffic, and news.